Hi guys, that's my new soldering iron model SI10 by Dr.Meter. I'm gonna unbox and test that one for you today. In the box we have 5 tips, one additional tip on the iron itself, and that's a temperature regulated soldering iron, so you can change the temperature from that dial. The tip temperature, you can change it from that dial. The only thing left for me now is to unbox it fully, plug it in and test it for you. Okay, before we plug it in, first time we'll have to replace the tip because I don't need a tip so big. I don't need the tip as big as that. So we just unscrew that. Be careful, that should be off and cold for a while before doing that. So you just remove the old tape, take the new one that you're gonna use, just put it in, put that cap on and tighten it pretty well. You gotta tighten it good. Okay, now let's plug it in. The first time you're plugging in a new soldering iron, it's very possible to see some smoke coming out of it. That's normal, don't be afraid, it's absolutely fine. It's just the soldering iron heating up for the first time. When you plug it in the first time, you see that means that it's heating up, and temperature that's preset on the soldering iron is 200 degrees Celsius. So that's around 200 degrees Fahrenheit or maybe more. For good soldering joints, the temperature should be around 350-340 degrees Celsius. So I just set up that to Celsius. And first time you use a new soldering iron, you always have to cover the tip with solder. That's not heated up yet. It will take like a minute or so. So let's keep to that part, and I'll show you how to solder some wires with that and show you that it's working properly as expected. I don't know if you can see that, but the smoke is coming out of the soldering iron. That part is getting darker, and it will be darker after a while, and that's pretty normal. Don't be afraid. And I guess the solder, yeah, it's heated up. Now you can see it melts pretty well, and that's little under a minute. For a cheap soldering iron, that's perfect. You would expect that from a soldering station that's 200 bucks or more, but that thing is pretty cheap. It's cheaper than Radio Shacks and it works pretty nice. So let's solder some wires together. When you do some soldering, the first thing to do is always to clear your tip before starting, because it gets built up with stuff on it. I'm doing that with a knife. It's not the best way to do it. It should be something with a properly insulated handle, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's see how is that working for us. That's a pretty good job actually. For a cheap soldering iron, it happened in a second. That's perfect if you want to use it in your car or for something at home. You can see the solder is very shiny. That means that the soldering joint is pretty good. Let me solder those wires together and see if we can. It's not the best job I've ever did, but you can see it's sturdy, and that's a pretty neat soldering iron for that price.